Willpower is one of the most dangerous lies in the history of human potential. You've been told that if you just wanted it badly enough, you would be disciplined. You've been told that if you were strong enough, focused enough, or motivated enough, you would simply follow through. So, every time you fail, every time you hit the snooze button, every time you skip the workout, every time you give in to the distraction, you blame yourself. You look in the mirror and you see a person who is fundamentally flawed. You say you're weak. You say you're lazy. You say something is wrong with your character. But nothing is wrong with you. The problem isn't that you don't have enough willpower. The problem is that you were taught to rely on it, and willpower is unreliable by design. Willpower feels powerful in the beginning. It's like a drug. The first day of a new goal, the first week of a resolution, you feel invincible. You have that surge motivation, that chemical high that makes you believe that this time is different. But then life happens. Stress hits, fatigue sets in, you have a conflict at work, you have pressure at home, you didn't sleep well, and suddenly the same rules you promised to follow collapse like a house of cards. You don't quit because you don't care. You don't quit because you've lost your vision. You quit because willpower is a finite resource. It's like a battery that drains every time you make a choice. It disappears when you're emotional. It evaporates when you're tired. It is the first thing to fail when you are under pressure. Yet you were told that discipline is about pushing harder. You were told it's a battle of the mind. So you keep fighting yourself. Every single day of your life becomes a war zone between who you are and who you want to be. And eventually you lose, not because you're weak, but because a war is not a sustainable lifestyle. The real villain in your life is not laziness. Laziness is a myth. The villain is the lie that discipline equals effort. This myth turns discipline into a test of character instead of a matter of structure. It convinces you that disciplined people wake up every day feeling unstoppable, energetic, and ready to go. They don't. The world's highest performers don't have more willpower than you. They just have better systems. They simply don't rely on feelings. They've removed the negotiation from the equation entirely. Because negotiation is the place where discipline goes to die. Your brain is wired for efficiency, not for heroism. It wants to keep you safe, warm, and fed. It wants to conserve energy. Every act of self-control, every no to a craving, every yes to a difficult task costs the brain metabolic energy. When your day is filled with constant choices, constant stimulation, and constant pressure, your willpower doesn't stand a ghost of a chance. This is why you find it easy to be disciplined at 8 a.m. and impossible at 8 p.m. Disciplined people don't decide whether to train. They don't decide whether to work. They don't decide whether to eat healthy. They don't decide because they've already designed their life so the choice is made for them. Take yourself back to your time in the American public school system. Think about being 16 years old. You probably didn't feel motivated to be at school at 7:30 in the morning. You were tired, you were hormonal, you were distracted. But when that bell rang, you moved. You walked to the next class. You sat in that specific seat. You opened that book. Was it willpower? No. Was it passion?
Hardly. It was a system. The bell was a trigger. The hallway was a path of least resistance. The schedule was a non-negotiable law. The school system didn't care about your alignment or your mood. It created consistency through structure. As adults, we lose the bell, we lose the schedule, and we wonder why our lives become chaotic. We try to replace a billion-dollar structural system with a 5-second motivational video. It will never work. Highly disciplined people understand that discipline is not self-control. Discipline is self-design. They don't fight temptation, they remove it. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. They don't ask, do I feel like it? They ask, is this the default? To change your life, you have to stop designing goals and start designing defaults. I am going to give you 5 non-negotiables, 5 laws of internal architecture. The 5th one is the most important. It is the anchor. If you don't implement the 5th law, the other 4 will just be temporary habits that eventually fail. Non-negotiable number 1, the architecture of environment. You are a product of your surroundings. If you want to eat better, but you have junk food on the counter, you will eventually eat it. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is efficient. If your phone is next to your bed, you will scroll. Discipline is the act of designing an environment where doing the right thing is easy and doing the wrong thing is difficult. Sterilize your environment, remove the friction from the good habits and add friction to the bad ones. If you want to work out, put your shoes on top of your phone. If you want to read, put the book on your pillow. Make the right choice the only choice. Non-negotiable number 2, the law of the floor. Most people set ceilings. They say, I'm going to run 5 miles today. But what happens when it rains? What happens when they have a headache? They do 0. You must set a floor, a minimum standard that you hit even on your worst day. The floor is non-negotiable. If your goal is an hour of study, your floor is 10 minutes. If your goal is a gym session, your floor is 10 push-ups. You never, ever break the floor. Intensity is for the ego. Consistency is for the identity. The floor ensures that even when you are at your weakest, you are still the person who shows up. Non-negotiable number 3, the 0 decision morning. Willpower is highest when you wake up, but it drains with every decision you make. What should I wear? What should I eat? What should I do first? By 10 a.m., you've already wasted half your battery on nonsense. Kill the decisions. Prepare everything the night before. Your morning should be a scripted performance. You should move from the bed to the work without a single internal debate. When you stop deciding, you start doing. Non-negotiable number 4, the 48-hour momentum rule. Life is messy. You will miss a day. A crisis will happen. A flight will be delayed. But you never, ever miss twice. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. The 48-hour rule is your emergency brake. It prevents a stumble from becoming a fall. If you miss Monday, Tuesday becomes your most important day of the year. No excuses, no negotiation. Non-negotiable number 5, the integrity anchor. This is the one that changes your life forever. Most people work for a result. They work for the money, the weight loss, the applause. But results are out of your control. And when they don't come fast enough, willpower dies. You must stop acting for the result and start acting for the integrity. You don't work out to look good. You work out because you are a person who does not break a promise to themselves. Every time you follow through, you are casting a vote for your new identity. When you value your word more than your comfort, you become dangerous. You become unstoppable. Because a man who trusts his own word doesn't need motivation. He has law. You don't need more willpower. You need fewer negotiations. You need fewer decisions. You need fewer excuses disguised as flexibility. Discipline is not about being strong. It's about being honest. It's about designing a life that doesn't require you to fight yourself
every day. It's about building the bridge of iron so you don't have to keep swimming across the river. If this spoke to the parts of you that are tired of being weak, subscribe to Inner Discipline. Like the video if you are ready to stop fighting yourself and start building your system. This isn't a motivational speech. This is the blueprint. Inner Discipline.